your online privacy with NordVPN. Browse securely, access content from anywhere, and keep your data safe with military-grade encryption. NordVPN.com. That's NORDVPN.com. It's not just a glove, it's a 44 Pro. Crafted with dedication, made for performance, and built to last. Get your custom glove today at 44pro.com and experience the 44 Pro difference. That's 44pro.com, 44 Pro.
Our patented handles were launched in 2018. We continue to push the boundaries of strength training. Join us in making your training more natural and effective. Visit Engels90.com to learn more and revolutionize your workout.
Looking for tickets to the hottest shows, games, and events? Ticket Liquidator is your one-stop shop for great prices, no hassles, and guaranteed tickets. Whether it's sports, theater, or concert, for the best seats at the biggest events, start with Ticket Liquidator today at ticketliquidator.com. Ticket Liquidator.
Introducing Bark in the Belly Premium Dog Food. 100% of profits go to help dogs in need.
Over 30% of adults struggle with chronic foot and joint pain, and many face mobility limitations as they age. But a revolutionary Comfort First slipper has taken the wellness world by storm. Try Cloud Slides and feel you are walking on the clouds. Cloud Slides.
Here we go. Wicked Boston show on this Thursday. Cam Stewart, your host. Zach Burke behind the glass, keeping us on the air 5 days a week, live on YouTube and wherever you get your podcasts as well. If you're new here, like, subscribe, all the fun stuff. It helps me keep my job and it helps get you all the Boston sports talk throughout the week without the bullshit of Boston Sports Talk Radio. It's right here on the Wicked Boston Show, powered by Rogue Media Sports Network. Of course, today we're talking about Patriots, Jets, Thursday night football. Can the Patriots make it 8 wins in a row? I mean, they should, but There's a blueprint out there for those who are looking for it, and the Jets might actually have the blueprint on how to slow Drake Maye down. That's one of the 3 keys that we're going to look for in this game today. We're also going to have Burrows of BoSox Injection come on to talk about winter meetings because things are heating up for the Red Sox. Pete Alonso, Kyle Schwarber, number 2 starter, Dombrowski-esque. Speaking of, is Dave Dombrowski going to swing in for Alex Bregman? No one wants a Brexit. We'll go over all of that with Brian Burrows as well. And then one-day contracts. Rob Gronkowski just signed one to retire as a Patriot. Can we do away with those? Those are kind of stupid. We'll talk about all that and more coming up on this episode of The Wicked Boston Show. But we start where we start. It's in the thumbnail. It's right now. It's the game that's happening prime time tonight. The talk around Boston today, Thursday night football, short week, prime time, 2-7 Jets versus 7-2 Patriots should be a pretty simple script. Patriots should just cruise to their 8th straight victory. Well, look, the Jets suck. Jetsuck. They're horrible. But the Buccaneers might have figured out something against this Patriots team. In fact, they might have exposed the only way to slow down Drake Maye. They might have given all other opponents for the Patriots the blueprint on how to slow down their young quarterback. Our first key to watch this week is how many defenders Aaron Glenn drops back in coverage. Because we look at that Bucs game last week. Todd Bowles decided not to blitz the Patriots all the time, which at the time felt like a bad idea. Like that was the weakness in the Patriots offense, was that you're going to blitz them. Drake Maye had gone down 12 times in the previous 2 weeks. Like that was the way to get after this offense and slow down the quarterback. Tampa's pretty good at doing that, by the way. Todd Bowles, though, defensive genius, genuine defensive genius, said, I'm actually going to find another crack in Drake Maye's armor. You all see one. I see a different one to expose here. And so what he did was he didn't attack the most obvious statistical deficiency of the Patriots offense and found a new one. Instead of throwing the kitchen sink at Drake Maye and putting a ton of pressure on a mid-offensive line, they made it look like they were going to do that. And then they actually dropped more guys in coverage. A lot of teams haven't done that, mainly because Drake Maye is pretty good with his legs, right? They didn't want to do that. But the Bucs linebackers, they spied and they dropped back, and it worked. The Bucs didn't win, obviously, but they slowed down Drake Maye more than anyone else we've seen since that bad performance against Vegas, which was week 1 of the season. According to PFF, when Drake Maye faces 8 or more defenders dropping back in coverage, he has a 42 passing grade. 42. When 8 or more defenders are out there in coverage. Now, that number is not the same as passer rating. This is a PFF passer grade. But for reference on that, as to how bad that is, when he's facing 7 players or less dropped back in coverage, he has an 85.2 passing grade. So when there is pressure, he's pretty good. He's pretty good. That's what we have to watch for in this game. If you're going to bring pressure, even though this isn't a stellar offensive line, as we know, and Drake Maye takes a lot of sacks, but if you bring that pressure, Drake Maye's going to eat you alive. We saw it for 6 straight weeks. There's no way around it. When you don't drop those guys back into coverage, Drake Maye is the MVP of the league. Full stop. When you do drop those guys back, and he only gets sacked 1 time, like he did against Tampa, he completes 50% of his passes. That's not going to kill you most of the time. Now, look, against Tampa, I know. He still threw for 270, 2 touchdowns, wins the game, still had a pretty good game because he's inevitable, because he's that good. But you have a much better chance of slowing him down, slowing the Patriots down when you drop more guys into coverage. And look, if you're looking at the way that this game should play out and the injury report that the Patriots have, there's still no Kayshon Boutte there. Okay, there's actually no Austin Hooper there either. That takes a tight end out of the equation. So dropping more guys back, you're saying, all right, beat us with your arm with this receiver core for real. You drop those guys into coverage and you don't give up 60-yard touchdown runs, you got a heck of a chance to beat the Patriots. And again, no Ramondre Stevenson, no Kayshon Boutte in this game, no Austin Hooper. Your best deep threat isn't there. And the Patriots really didn't run the ball well last week outside of those two explosive plays. Like outside of that, I think Travion Henderson, outside of those two runs, was 12 carries for 23 yards. Now, you can't take those plays away, but it shows you how ineffective they were running the ball for most of the game, and it was part of why Tampa stayed in it. And now you got to go even further down the depth chart. No Terrell Jennings either. So this is like a massive development here if Aaron Glenn wants to pull it off. Like he can slow down Drake Maye, which is not something I would have said, because the important thing we have to remember here is we're talking about the Jets. This isn't Buffalo. This isn't Baltimore. It's not even Atlanta. This is the Jets. And Aaron Glenn is stubborn. Most coaches are. I really doubt he breaks from his base defense and his tight man coverage, especially in a short week. Because those things go both ways. Short week, you're not giving a lot of time for Drake Maye to prepare and make those adjustments. You basically have one practice to try and make those adjustments by seeing what happens when another team drops more guys into coverage. But it's the same thing for the Jets. In fact, you've got a couple of new guys on that defense because of their fire sale trade deadline, and then you try to institute that. It's tough. Now, if it were Bill Belichick, his defense would have been practicing this off and on for 2.5 weeks now, dropping more guys into coverage because they would have saw that from Drake Maye as an opponent so that they could mold themselves for this game. I doubt Aaron Glenn will do the same, but that right there, I think, is legitimately the biggest factor in this game tonight. If the Jets say, we're going to drop guys back, we're going to have the spy on the quarterback, try and beat us that way, we know those aren't your best numbers, then they might have a chance. They might have a chance. But that's a doubt. Defensively, it's interesting because the Jets are the worst offensive team you'll face maybe ever. Maybe in the history of the NFL. But defensively, everything has to be focused on Breece Hall. He's a hell of a player, man. I love Breece Hall. But if he beats you in this game or even makes it close, shame on you. He is the only stud they have on offense. Like, he's the only player they have at this point with Garrett Wilson out. Adonai Mitchell, nice player, rookie in his second game with the team on a short week. Came in that Sauce Gardner trade. And somehow, some way, Justin Fields is the worst quarterback they've played all season. I say somehow, some way because, he's a top 5 pick or whatever. But you look at the ones they've played this year, he's worse than Dylan Gabriel. He's worse than Spencer Rattler. Maybe even worse than Cam Ward. But apparently better than Aaron Rodgers. I did hear some of that from Jets fans this year. I did hear a little bit of that. And Rodgers beat them. Last week, I love looking through Justin Fields' game log every week. It's fascinating to me. Last week, dude was 6 of 11. He passed it 11 times. 6 of 11 for 54 yards. 54 yards in an NFL game. Oh, it gets even better. It gets even better. Stay right there. Don't change the channel. He actually would have had his second net negative passing yards game of the season if he didn't complete a 42-yard touchdown on a slip screen to Breece Hall. He threw the ball about 5 yards laterally, and Breece Hall took it 42 yards for a touchdown. All of a sudden, it is a 42-yard completion. I mean, dude, if the Jets didn't pass the ball one time in this game, if they didn't pass it once, it would still only be the second worst net passing performance that Justin Fields has had all season. That's so good, man. Breece Hall, though. Breece Hall is literally the only player that can hurt you. The only one. Shut him down, and you don't just beat the Jets, you blow out the Jets if you shut him down. Pretty simple. Last thing is, because this is a 3-phase game here, Special teams becomes actually very important in this game. I know. Oh, this guy thinks he's such a football guy. But don't give up a special teams touchdown. That sounds like a pretty basic objective any week for Jeremy Springer's group, right? Don't give up a touchdown on special teams. But especially with how these two teams are trending, this is important. The Jets had 2 special teams touchdowns last week just to get to 27 points, 2 kickoff return touchdowns. And the Patriots, for their troubles, had 3 penalties on special teams in the game against Tampa. Keep them out of the end zone that way, and they have a really, really, really tough time getting into the end zone. Short week, I do think we could see a struggle or two from Drake Maye. This statistically is a good passing defense, but of course they don't have Sauce Gardner, and all but one of those games came with Sauce Gardner in the lineup. So, and the Patriots are going to struggle to establish the run just because of the horses they have in the stable. I think this is going to be a 10-2, get the car in the garage kind of thing. And the Patriots win it 27-6, if I had to guess. But a shutout would be pretty nice. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. What are the keys to this game? What's the score prediction? Let me know in the comment section below. Be sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel. We're here every weekday live at noon Eastern time, and then wherever you get your podcasts as well. It's your lunchtime alternative to Boston Sports Talk Radio, the Wicked Boston Show on Rogue Media Sports Network with myself, Cam Stewart. Before we move on and get to the Red Sox here in a little bit, I do like seeing some of the score predictions already getting in there. 31-9. I'll take that. That's pretty close to mine, right? 27-6. And thank you for Ronald to say smash the like button. Brandon, good point. No real blueprint to stopping Drake Maye. Only a blueprint to slowing him down. Because that was probably his worst game since week 1, I would say, because he completed 50% of his passes. But again, he still threw for 270 and 2 touchdowns, and the Patriots won the game. So, you kind of need a miracle to slow down Drake Maye, if we're being honest. I'm starting to see some more 28-6 Pats. Again, that's right there. We're on the same wavelength here. But the weather's getting crisp outside. Very crisp the last couple of days here in the Boston area. The Patriots are red hot, so you know what that means. You know it means it's time to talk some Red Sox. Brian Burrows of BoSox Injection is going to join us to talk about winter meetings and all the names, all the rumors being thrown around this Red Sox team. This winter could be massive. That's coming up after this very short break on the Wicked Boston Show.
It's hard to find supplements that work. No, thank you. Plant-based supplements made from the Earth's most powerful plants for your immune health, gut health, workouts, and more. Find out more at auraorganic.com.
BadCreditLoans.com is a pioneering service provider that has carved a reputation in the financial industry. Simple, fast, and reliable loan application process. And its commitment to responsible borrowing makes it a trusted partner in the journey towards financial stability.
A house is a property, but we live in homes. Home sweet home. Homes where the heart is. We aim to deliver the best home buying and selling experience so you can spend less time real estating and more time living.
With Ease US, make studio quality voiceovers for your videos online in over 149 languages and dialects. Never been easier to create professional grade videos and voiceovers. Try it today at easeus.com. That's EASEUS.com. Ease US. Nalgene Outdoor has been your trusted companion, fueling adventures and helping protect the planet. We're committed to reducing waste, improving access to clean water, and providing simple, safe, and sustainable products for you and your family. NALGENE.com.
Back here, Wicked Boston Show, Rogue Media Sports Network with Cam Stewart, Zach Burke behind the glass, keeping us on the air 5 days a week, live at noon Eastern time, and then available wherever you get your podcasts as well. We've been previewing tonight's Thursday night football game. We will also talk about the Patriots in the final segment of the show as well. But for the meantime, this is going to be a big winter for the Red Sox. Everyone feels it. It kind of needs to happen for the Red Sox to get into contention and into the postseason again in 2026. So to help us break down what is going on at the winter meetings right now, we welcome in Brian Burrows of BoSox Injection. Brian, this is a fun time of year for where the Red Sox are at right now. It is in the mouths of a lot of people around baseball in this GM winter meetings. Before we get into some of the specifics here, what is the most intriguing storyline for you this week with the Red Sox?
I mean, for me, it's been Craig Breslow's transparency. We haven't gotten this GM speak that he's kind of been giving us since he came to town. For the first time, I think ever. I mean, minus the trade deadline where he was like, "Oh, we're going all in," and then didn't go all in. For the first time, he's like, "This is what we're looking for. This is what we need. We're going to try to get it." We haven't gotten that from Craig Breslow. We didn't get that from Chaim Bloom, who was here before him. The last guy we got this from was Dave Dombrowski, and he delivered on his promises. So we're going to see if Breslow does the same.
You know what? Let's expedite this. Speaking of Dave Dombrowski, he is now kind of being mixed in with the Red Sox here. When we talked last week, it was Alex Bregman priority one. That's you got to get that squared away. If nothing else, for the optics, right? If nothing else, the fact that you would have brought him in for 1 year, traded your franchise player, and then let him walk as well, let Bregman walk as well. Scott Boras talked to the media yesterday in a very odd interview with all the Duncan and coffee thing, and then a little nobody wants a Brexit at the end. And now we're starting to hear people a little bit more saying ooh, this Bregman back to Boston thing might not happen. And the name that comes up again, Dave Dombrowski. Do you think that A, the Phillies' interest is legit, and B, is that the biggest threat to the Red Sox with how Dombrowski will spend money?
As far as the Phillies go, I'm not 100% sure. I mean, they do have Alec Boehm there, who they've kind of been floating in trade talks for a little while, so they'll have to get rid of him before they do anything because they'll have to clear the spot for Bregman. I don't fully see that that's the need that they're going to be trying to fill this offseason, priority one. I mean, if Bregman's still in the market as they kind of wind down what they need, maybe they'll pivot, but I don't see that as their number one priority. As far as other teams go, it's Tigers. I would say the Tigers are the team that we have to watch out for this offseason. They do need third base. They were interested last year, and he would fit a big need for them.
Does that concern you at all, though, that the Tigers are now apparently willing to shop the best pitcher in the American League over the last 2 years because they're worried they can't extend him? Do you think that they'll meet a price and a term for a 32-year-old Bregman?
I honestly do. I think their philosophy on Scuba right now is kind of muddied in the water a little bit. They're kind of we don't know, we're going to trade him. We kind of want to see what happens. We'd like to try to retain him, but I also don't know that they're going to pony up the money to get him on the open market when the bidding war starts. So I think they're we want to keep Scooble, but we don't know if we're going to get him, so might as well try to spend some of that money.
It's interesting. Obviously the market changes. The market was fairly robust for Bregman last year. I mean, we're talking about 3 teams in February, late February, 3 teams that were still right there at the table. And obviously has a good year, has the injury, slumps at the end, but there's still clearly a market for Alex Bregman out there. We're talking with Brian Burrows of BoSox Injection about all the things happening around Red Sox winter meetings right now. And you mentioned it at the top, Craig Breslow, not afraid to say what's on his mind in terms of their priorities here. And he says he did not turn down the fact that it could be 2 bats that they're getting on the open market. Whether one of those is Alex Bregman, it kind of remains to be seen. But the obviously right-handed power bat, and take whatever weight you want for either one of those things, right-handed or power bat, is going to be near the top of the list. So when we look at the 2 big power hitters that are going to be on the market here, and Pete Alonso and Kyle Schwarber, obviously Schwarber's a lefty, but still 55, 56 home runs. I mean, that plays. If you had to choose between one of those 2 for the Red Sox in terms of fit, which one are you going with?
I mean, for me, it's Alonso. I think it fits the need at first base. Mm-hmm. we don't know what's up with Cassis. He's not guaranteed a spot on the opening day roster. He's got to prove himself. I honestly think he'll start the season in AAA just to rebuild his own confidence, just to know that for himself he can hit at least AAA pitching again, and prove that okay, he's still a major league player. He'll if he dominates down there, and if not, well then we know we don't really have anything in him anymore. As far I like Schwarber. I just feel the Red Sox are already too left-handed heavy. So even though you said power plays, especially in Boston, but I don't love the fit for Schwarber, and I don't know that he's older than Alonso. He is only a DH. At least Alonso will give you some first base. If you're getting Schwarber, he is your DH for the length of that contract, and he is a little bit older as well.
So you just wrote about this for BoSox Injection, by the way. Check it out, Pete Alonso. I knew that was going to be Brian's pick. And I'm a huge fan as well. I love Schwarber. If you're bringing him here, am I damn it, no way. But Pete Alonso, from the minute you see the dependability, plays all 162 each of the last 2 games. People talk about his defense, and it's okay. It's fine. It's serviceable. And if you're going to put anybody anywhere, it's going to be first base, right? And you weren't getting much out of first base offensively or defensively outside of, singles from Romy Gonzalez this past year. So is there anything in your research on Alonso that you're that would be the only drawback for me?
It's the declining defense, because Craig Breslow has said, which he has walked back a little bit, but it's still, they want defense. They're trying to prioritize defense a little bit, especially with some of the pitching we have is a little bit more ground ball heavy. So we want to get good players behind them in the infield. And I do think if it's not this year, it could be next year where he's a full-time DH for this team, especially once Yoshida's gone. That contract has 2 years left. If you sign Alonso for 5 years, 2 years into that contract, your DH spot is open. And if they get rid of Yoshida even earlier than that, then perfect.
Can you get rid of Yoshida?
That I am not sure about. If somebody's willing to even try it, you're attaching a decent prospect with him to send him somewhere.
Speaking of that, and these guys, some of these guys I'm about to talk about have obviously played in the major leagues, but I do find it interesting kind of looking back on the Red Sox using kind of the Braves model here, right? And extending these young guys pretty early on. But I think more interesting than that is the guys they didn't extend. And that's Duran, that's Marcelo Meyer. That's Duran, that's William Abreu, that's Tristan Casas. Do you think those guys, we talk about Duran in a lot of these trade talks, but do you think these guys that they haven't extended yet aren't safe either, including and now injured Tristan Casas?
I think anybody's available, honestly, except for Roman. I honestly think that is the only player on the team right now that is untradeable. I think even if some team were to come to you and be if it was the Pirates, be hey, we'll give you Paul Skeens, just send us Trevor Story. I think he's even available. I think the only person that is completely untouchable, and Crochet and Anthony, you're only 2 completely untouchable players right now.
So we talk about Breslow being open with the power bats. The other thing he said is basically, we need a number 2 starter. He didn't say, we're looking for better pitching depth, we're looking for this or that. He said, we need a number 2 starter. We need someone alongside Garrett Crochet. Now, he basically said that at the trade deadline, and Dustin May is not that. And we knew from the beginning he was not that. So I don't know how much we can take him at his word at this point, saying that we're going to get that. But when you look at the market here, we've talked about trades before on the show with you. We've talked about the free agency market and it changes week to week with these rumors and who they're looking at. Right now, who do you think is the most likely guy to fit in as that kind of Robin role to Garrett Crochet's Batman?
Joe Ryan. I think they're still in love with Joe Ryan. I think he slides perfectly into that number 2 spot. He's a little bit older. I think he's 30 now. It's 20.
Yeah, I think this was just his age 30. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or no, I think he's going into his age 30. I think you're right. 29.
Yeah, and he's got 2 years of team control left. So if you bring him in, that's great. You get 2 years till his age 30 when he hits free agency. He can have fun. Or you give him a 4 or 5 year contract extension. He gets to hit free agency again, maybe into his mid-30s, which is still a time where pitchers will get a decent contract. But maybe he says, well, Boston's competing right now. So, I'll definitely stick around here for a little extra longer if they'll pay me.
Now, why has that name kind of simmered down? Obviously we heard the trade deadline. There was a lot of rumors about it, and these guys should be getting cheaper in the offseason. But why has the Joe Ryan name not been at the forefront here after the season has ended?
My only guess is that it's because all of these other names are now kind of getting thrown out into the air, and he's just kind of like, oh, he's still there. It's just kind of getting put to the back burner now. I think it's like, whoa, Hunter Green's available. Oh, whoa, Tarek Skubal might be available. It's like all of these like really high names who are a little bit better than Joe Ryan are kind of getting their names thrown into the hat, and it's like, well, Ryan's name is still there. It's just we already knew about it.
Does that help the Red Sox then? If there's going to be, because, we hear these about the Red Sox, but like maybe Hunter Green's available for somebody else. Maybe Tarek Skubal's available for somebody else. And the Twins are rebuilding. Obviously, they don't want to admit it, but you trade 10 guys on July 31st, like you're rebuilding. So they're going to take not any prospect, but as many prospects as they can get. Do you think all of that actually helps the Red Sox in the Joe Ryan sweepstakes?
I think it helps, but it hurts because this is can start a bidding war. Same thing in free agency. When more teams become eligible to trade for a guy, because it's like, okay, we'll trade for the major league auction now. Maybe this prospect is a guy we're willing to move in the offseason, but not midseason. That puts more teams into the ring to be like, okay, hey, this team, let's say the Reds are offering the Twins a higher prospect, so if you want him, like you're gonna have to bump the offer up a little bit, and it just it muddies it down a little bit, but also more teams are going to be willing to talk to more other teams as well. So it's kind of like, yes, the bidding war can go up, but also not everybody, like other players are available. So it's like, well, if we're not interested, we'll just go somewhere else.
Is there anything in this Red Sox pitching staff that you're looking at that's maybe not the sexy names of the number 2 starters? They're probably going to need a number 4 guy after not giving the qualifying offer to Lucas Giolito, which I thought was a good move. There's talks about a super pen. We heard about that in the Bronx last year. There's talk about it with the Red Sox this year. Very good bullpen, but mainly 2 guys at the top with Whitlock and Chapman. So is there anything else around this pitching staff, not the number 2 starter, that you're starting to look at?
I mean, I do think the number 4 starter is interesting to watch, but we also have the Red Sox have so much depth now. Like they're at this point, like before they even add anybody, their AAA rotation could probably all be guys that are number 5 starters in the majors, which is amazing. It's after what happened last
time
year.
They had that, man. That's been a long time, like, maybe ever.
Yeah,
I don't know.
That is a great problem to have. So the number 4 starter is something I'm looking at, but I'm not super worried about because we just have all of these guys, and we have people coming back. Patrick Sandoval's the guy who we didn't see it all last year, but also now has a year in the Red Sox pitching development program to see what he can become after he was okay in LA. Wasn't great, but wasn't bad. I would say the other thing is another lefty in the pen. We need a true like number 1 lefty. I don't consider Chapman the number 1 lefty because he's the closer. His role is the 8th or 9th, like whatever Cora wants to deploy him. So we need a real number 1 lefty behind him. That's going to be the guy who you trust to come in the 7th inning to get like the middle of the order. So it doesn't have to be Chapman coming in the 7th because their 2, 3, 4 guys are coming in.
Is this going to be the best division in baseball again next year? Do you think Toronto hangs around still?
Yeah, oh, absolutely. Yeah, it's always the AL East and the NL West are the 2 like best divisions. I don't think there's a question about it because the Orioles are like they're still young, they're still improving, and they'll spend a little money somewhere to try to upgrade that team, probably in the pitching staff. The Yankees are the Yankees. The Blue Jays are to the World Series and seemed like that team's mostly coming back. So, and then the Rays just out of nowhere every year, 85 wins except for like last year.
They could do that. They could do that at the drop of a hat. But Toronto might not have Bo Bichette. What are they going to do without Bo Bichette? I think they'll probably work something out then be just fine.
Yeah, me too. I honestly, I think they're going to match whoever, like whatever offer Bichette gets. It's like Toronto's going to be like, yeah, we'll give you that plus another 10 million. Like, yeah, I don't think they're going to let him walk.
And that defense is going to be tough to play on the free agent market. Like I just don't. Yeah. I don't know that he's going to get good run producing shortstop money. You know what I mean? Like I don't think he's getting a Carlos Correa thing, and his defense was Bogart's defense was Anyway, last question here.
Well, just to go off that point too, I think teams after the last like 5 years with the shortstop market being what it was, you saw Turner and Correa and Seager and Bogart get these massive contracts, and they're not quite living up to the money that they got, especially as shortstops ages. The defense gets worse. The run production gets a little bit worse, especially at that shortstop position, which is a very taxing position. I think Bichette is going to get kind of the brunt of that. And it's like, well, your defense is already bad. We're seeing what these shortstops have done elsewhere with these mega contracts and it just not being what they thought. I think he's going to kind of struggle this year.
Trevor Story can tell you it's a taxing position after what we saw in September. It's a taxing position. Last thing, Brian, I asked you this last week to close things out. And, with the Red Sox, it's every day there's new rumors here every day. So I got to check in again and see if this is the same thing. What is your number one priority for the Red Sox in this offseason?
The number 2 starter. That's for me. The lineup was not great towards the end of last year with the injuries and whatnot. And after they traded Devers, it got kind of rough. But I think you saw as the rotation, especially late in the year, like what happened and players got injured. And we were relying on like rookies who had been in the organization for 1 year, 2 years. I just think you really need to find that number 2 to make that playoff rotation. Crochet, number 2 starter, Bayo, and then whoever steps up throughout the year to be that number 4 if you make it to a series that needs 4 starters.
Yeah, because that last point is the big part of it, right? Like it just by getting a number 2 starter, you're probably getting a step further than you did this year. Two starters like a Crochet and then Joe Ryan wins you the Yankees series. And, obviously Cole will be back. And I remember that. But and then the next series is a best of 5. Like you could run into that again where Crochet's starting twice and you win 2 of those games and you win one with the other. You know what I mean? So it's, I don't want to say it's not hard, but they're one piece away from at least getting farther than last year.
I mean, if you look at like just this last playoffs, if the Red Sox had gone on, they won game 2, game 3, or whatever, you're looking at it would have been Giolito game 1 starter, which especially the way he ended the year was iffy. Then you get Crochet comes back. Bayo did not look good in his first playoff start, so it's like, and then it's early again. It's like, it wasn't looking great. If the Red Sox got past the Yankees, which they probably should have, it wasn't looking great for the division series just to be like, well, we really only trust Crochet right now.
Yeah. Gotta have it a little bit better than that. 2 guys you trust, and we're cooking. And we're cooking. Brian Burrows of BoSox Injection, man, you've been writing all week, just grinding this out on all those rumors. Do you have anything in the oven, and where can people find you?
Yeah, so coming out in a couple days probably is something about maybe Bo Bichette in Boston. Who knows?
Oh, all right. At a good price, hopefully.
Yes. So, stay on lookout for that. But yeah, if you want to find me, BoSoxInjection.com. Find my name in any article. You can see all the articles that I've written in all this off season. A lot of good stuff in there. And on my Twitter, Brian_Burrows11.
Brian Burrows doing some great stuff with BoSox Injection, man. Really appreciate you taking the time again.
Yeah, thank you.
We will see Brian soon. There he goes. Brian Burrows of BoSox Injection talking Red Sox rumors here in the winter. What is your priority number 1 for this Red Sox team? Let me know in the comment section below. Be sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel. We come at you live every weekday, noon Eastern time on YouTube and wherever you get your podcasts as well. It is the Wicked Boston Show with Cam Stewart. Coming up next, I'm going to get back to this Patriots-Jets thing. Thursday Night Football tonight. We got to talk Patriots. We got to talk one-day contracts. Can we stop with these? They're a little weird. I'll be the devil's advocate coming up next on the Wicked Boston Show. Conference titles, playoff hopes, everything's on the line. A single loss can end it all. No one gets you closer to the college football action than DraftKings Sportsbook, the #1 sportsbook for live betting. New customers, this one's for you. Bet just $5, and if your bet wins, you'll get $200 in bonus bets instantly. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code CAMSHOW, that's code CAMSHOW, to turn $5 into $200 in bonus bets if your bet wins. In partnership with DraftKings, the crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In New York, call 877-8-HOPENY or text HOPENY 467369. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 8887-897777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly. On behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort Kansas, pass-through of per wager tax may apply in Illinois. 21 plus age and eligibility varies by jurisdiction. Void in Ontario. Restrictions apply. Bet must win to receive bonus bets which expire in 7 days. Minimum odds required. For additional terms and responsible gaming resources, see dkng.co/audio. Limited time offer.
whypersonalloans.com. Request a loan anytime. Our partners can offer loans up to $35,000 with varying rates and terms. Review your loan offer with no obligation and decide what works for you. Visit personalloans.com today.
Unlock a world of convenience with Mullybox, your one-stop solution for personalized subscription boxes delivered right to your door. Each box is tailored to your taste. Mullybox.com. That's MULLYBOX.com.
I know you're gonna love this Kodak Dot Plus printer. You guys just connect it to your smartphone. I can assure you, you are going to love this printer as much as my family has. You guys have to check it out for yourself.
I am obsessed with helping business owners increase their traffic and turn it into profit through the power of Pinterest marketing. It's this amazing platform where people are looking for ideas, inspiration. They have a problem and they're actively looking for a solution.
Bubble wasn't here. I don't know what people would be doing, like making PowerPoints or something. I love that I can sit down and build something the way that I think it should be built.
Bubble turns ideas into fully scalable apps. Try Bubble today.
At Mapiful, we believe in celebrating your journey. Our unique personalized products are designed to boost your confidence. From custom home decor to meaningful gifts, we help you cherish the memories that make you who you are. Visit mapiful.com and start celebrating your story today.
Back here, Wicked Boston Show, Rogue Media Network, live on YouTube every weekday, noon Eastern time, and then available wherever you get your podcasts as well. Of course, you got Patriots, Jets, Thursday Night Football tonight. Special thanks to Brian Burrows, man, breaking it down. Red Sox winter meetings once again. Very interesting offseason. Very interesting offseason here for the Red Sox. And when we get into this next segment here, I want those of you hanging around in the comment section, seeing a lot of great comments today, Patriots, Jets. I do want your thoughts on one-day contracts. And I'm going to bring in Zach Burke here because he's seen a one-day contract or two in his lifetime. And we just saw another one yesterday, Zach Burke. We saw a one-day contract. Rob Gronkowski signed with the Patriots to retire as a Patriot. In general, I think these are kind of dumb. I thought it was cool when Nomar did it in 2009 because I was like 11, 12 years old when it happened. I was like, yeah, cool. And now everyone does it. I guess it probably makes the player feel good, but like Gronk's been doing TV for like 2 years now. Like this, I think this is his second season doing TV on Fox.
Yeah, it is.
Was he not retired? Sure, yeah. Why did he need to do this? By the way, you could have retired as a Patriot. You did. And then you came back and played somewhere else. Like, am I reading too much into this? I just kind of think they're phony at this point.
No, was I supposed to play devil's advocate in here?
No, you can if you want. You can if you want. I mean,
well, here's
you'll get fired if you disagree with me. But
well, then no, I understand it in some instance of when it is like the end of the person's career. I think of one of the ones you talked about.
Well, they're all at the end of the career. They're retiring.
True. But I guess, the difference here, like you brought up with Gronk, is that he had retired though, and he came back out of retirement.
Has Barry Bonds officially retired yet? I don't know that he has. I don't know that he ever did.
Really?
Remember that?
Not?
In like 2011, he was like, "Yeah, I'm not retired yet." Everyone was like,
"I'm looking this up."
Really? He hasn't played in 4 years. I mean, he's like 50 now.
Well, he's still 60
almost.
Yeah, but he's the man who thought that he would take Satchel Paige deep on every single pitch. So, like, I get, believing in yourself. No, okay.
It's pretty good.
He was good. One of the best hitters in baseball.
I don't know if anyone's had this take before. Barry Bonds, good hitter.
He's pretty good.
Power.
No, it doesn't show. It says the Giants have retired his number. I'm assuming if the team already retired your number, you have to be retired, right? I mean, there's some.
Yeah, right. Then I would think if you're on TV that you're retired too. But
exactly. But so in this instance with Gronk, like it's weird to me that you retired, you come out of retirement, you play more years, and then you come back out of retirement again to retire again. Like it's weird there.
It's just weird.
So I think of baseball more than anything with these sports, of where, at least for the longest, it didn't matter where you retired. It was either, I thought, where you played the most amount of your career, or where you want it to be, like in the Hall of Fame, like where you want it to be enshrined in, right? For baseball,
so I think the Hall of Fame used to do that. I think they are the ones that do that. Because I remember Wade Boggs went to the Devil Rays because that was his hometown, Tampa. And in his contract, it was he would go into the Hall of Fame with a Devil Rays cap on. And the Hall of Fame said, no, like, no way you're doing that. Like, that's just, we're not going to be a farce. Yeah. If there's one thing baseball is not, it is a farce. Okay. But like, that is, I actually do like that. I'm like, yeah, let's not, because then you're going to see a bunch of shit like that.
True. I like that. But to me, that is the only matter.
We'll never know what Clemens will go in, what hat he'll go in.
Blue Jay. But
yeah, I mean, why not?
Yeah. That's the thing, is like, it's not to that level of importance in a way. Like, I guess maybe to you as the player, like if Gronk's like, oh, it would be really big, but I don't see why, especially like after you haven't played this long. It feels more of like, hey, everybody, I'm Rob Gronkowski. I get another day as I
like, that's it. Like, when you took off the pads for the last time, you weren't wearing a Patriots uniform. Like, when you stepped off a field, your last catch, it was not as a Patriot. So, like, I just don't really know what it does, except for an excuse for Rob Kraft to show how great the organization is and bring the media out there and do it. Like, could you imagine being a media member and doing that? Like, oh, damn it. Like, you know, working the news stations in Boston, I got to fucking schlep out to Foxborough, 30 miles in traffic, just so Gronk can be like, I'm a Patriot one more time. Hi.
Well, yeah. I thought you were trying to say, like, imagine it in that line of work. Like, I was thinking more of like, once you were done and your sports career was over, you're like, you know what? I would really love to come back and work one day for ESPN Central Texas.
Wouldn't that be great, man? Wouldn't that be great? There's a terrific point in the comments, by the way. Before
I think I saw the one that you saw.
This is great. This is great. If a kid or a special needs person can get a one-day contract at a social charity kind of move, and an ex-player, it is phony. It devalues it. Yeah. It's like the guy.
I do love the no shade at these kids, though. I did appreciate that.
Yes, we're taking your word for it. We're not throwing shade at these kids either. But like, it does kind of feel like a Make-A-Wish thing. Like,
yeah, but no, I do understand where it's like, you know, I've seen like old players like it's passed them by free, or they come back and do it, or it is like somebody that's involved with the organization. And I'm not taking away, obviously, like what they've done to help the team. But the reason I brought up the Hall of Fame point is because it matters then. Like, I feel like it obviously where you played matters of where you're getting enshrined. But to come out and just be like, what does retiring your career as a Patriot do? What does, like, I love Andre Johnson. That's the one that I had with the Texans. He had played with the Titans, with the Colts. I think the Colts was the last team he had played with before. And he came back for a one-day contract to retire. Like, the man will always be in my favorite Houston Texan. Even if he didn't retire and have that one-day contract to, you know, to be a Texan, he was still going to be, like, you know, a Texans favorite in my book. Just because Gronk, like, retired as a Buck does not take away the things he did in a Patriot uniform. It's not like, and it feels very much as like, oh, they're not going to remember unless I spend that last day and retire there. And then they can, you know, take me as one of theirs. So they know I was always a Patriot, not a Buccaneer or something like that. It just seems weird and just like nonsensical in a way.
It's just, yeah. I think it goes back to, if you could do a Make-A-Wish thing, then why are we doing it for Gronk? This got me thinking. This, well,
sorry.
No shade at the special needs tight ends. No shade, man. God, I love Gronk. I do. I'm exhausted by the act. I have been for years, but as a player, freaking believable. And I thought about making this. Huh?
You don't think that Gronk's is Gronk? Like, that's how he is?
Dude, I mean, no, I do think that's how he is. I do think that's how he is. It's just exhausting. It's just like, I was over it like 12 years ago.
No, I get that. Yeah.
And he's not a bad guy, obviously. And so in the NFL, you'll just take that. I was thinking about making this segment all about how Gronk is still better than Travis Kelce, because I think there are some people that don't believe that. Travis Kelce is probably the second best tight end ever, probably. Maybe third, but Gronk is better. Gronk is the best of all time. Like,
I think there's another guy that played in Kansas City that a lot of Chiefs fans for some reason seem to forget.
He would be the other one. He would be the other one. Tony would be the other one. Great Atlanta Falcon, of course. Tony Gonzalez.
Did he retire? Did he come back for a one-day contract with the Falcons?
That's the thing. I gotta look back and find that.
Okay.
That's gonna ruin his legacy if he isn't. But in the midst of this, while we're running out of time here, I did want to ask. You know how people bring up those things all the time? It's like, Shaq with the Celtics, Patrick Ewing with the Magic. NFL's a little different because the careers are shorter. It takes more of a toll. What is like the weirdest one of those examples you can think of for the NFL?
Ooh, that's tough. One of them, granted, it's never in like my time frame. I think the ones that get me more, but it's like remembering that somebody like Joe Namath played for the Rams.
That was literally my pick. That was my pick. Joe
or
Namath
Johnny. No, my other one, as I'm trying to remember, was Johnny Unitas with the. Because Unitas played another year too, I think.
Yes.
With somebody without the Colts. Not the Chargers.
Yes.
Was it? Okay.
Chargers.
So
that's right.
Okay. I'll look up here. But like those are the things that I think of more than there haven't been any weird ones or ones that have like caught me off guard, because I do feel like players move around a lot.
Yeah.
But those are the big ones.
James Harrison with the Patriots. That's kind of a funny one. Steven Jackson with the Patriots. Reggie Wayne in training camp with the Patriots.
Yeah, I still think
in training camp with the Patriots.
AJ McCarron on any team that wasn't in the state of Alabama.
Well,
that's just because when you have the skyline tattooed on your back, I feel like you're just out of place anywhere else. But
yeah, Joe Namath with the Rams is
that is for sure one.
Is a wild one. Kids these days will look back and see Drew Brees as a Charger and probably think the same thing.
Yeah, but here's what's
Nick
weird
Saban is the coach of the Dolphins.
But think about that quarterback room for a whole hot second there in like 2004. It was Phillip Rivers, it was Drew Brees, and it was Doug Flutie in that quarterback room.
Hell yeah, dude.
Well, it could have been Eli Manning, but then they made that trade, so with him and but that's the Chargers. And how many Super Bowls did they get out of that? Boom. Not that I'm just saying, like, I think Flutie sometimes is remembered more for obviously the BC stuff than he was in the NFL. But,
and Canada, yeah.
Oh, and Canada.
Dude, BC. Oh my God. This is a Boston show, so I can talk about it real quick as we close it out.
Yeah.
You can't do this. You can't just kick an athletic department out of your conference because they suck at sports. But if there was any team you would do it to in the Power Four, like, it has to be Boston College. It has to be, bro. They're 1-8 in football this year. Basketball just lost to Central Connecticut State, man.
Ooh.
Central Connecticut State. They haven't made the tournament since 2009. You know how tough that is to do?
Yeah,
that's very difficult to do. There are 68 teams that go to the NCAA tournament, and all you really need is 2 players that are good and win half your conference games in a major conference, and you are in. And they can't do it. And their hockey team's off to a very slow start. I think they're on 500.
I didn't want to bring it up, but wasn't it on this show last year we were talking about if BC was back football?
No, I don't remember. I don't think that happened. I don't think that was the first segment of the first live edition of our show, by the way. I don't think we opened the live era of this show with talking about BC football being back because they beat Florida State. I'm denying that.
You asked football. We were thinking football. Never mind. I came up with 2 weird ones. I was just thinking.
Just give it to me. We're at the end of the show.
It is. I'll do them real quick. One's a personal. Ken Griffey Jr. in a Chicago White Sox jersey was weird as hell to see.
Baby. Yep.
And he passed away earlier this year, but Pete Rose as a Montreal Expo.
Yeah, that's pretty weird. That was pretty weird.
There you go.
Pedro Martinez pitching as a Philadelphia Philly in the World Series against the Yankees, man. That is like a fever dream that happened. And
I completely forgot about that.
I don't think he pitched that poorly. He gave up a couple homers, though, if I remember correctly. Anyway.
Guess who I talked to yesterday? We just don't get to talk
Pedro Martinez?
No. Former Detroit Lions quarterback Scott Mitchell.
Really?
Yeah.
He does, because he covers Utah now.
Mm-hmm.
and you guys do Baylor stuff. Baylor's playing Utah this weekend. Scott Mitchell.
I thought I'd throw that in there, but while we're talking,
I
about
get. Speaking of those Lions, I get I get a text from Pete every time Baylor's doing something good, and it's just Wayne Fonts, and he's just like, Wayne Fonts just always kept his job, always kept his job. So I'm gonna get some of that this weekend, I think, for sure. Zach, thank you, I appreciate it. Let me know what you guys think of one-day contracts in the comments below. Zach can always stay on; he just doesn't. It makes me feel like I'm hanging up on him. Anyway, thank you guys for tuning in. Here's Zach out from behind the glass. He's going to make sure we're on the air live at noon Eastern time tomorrow on YouTube to break down the Patriots and the Jets on Thursday Night Football. We will have that for you coming from all angles. We'll have Mike Debate, who is the best in the business at breaking down the game. Monday morning Mike will now be Friday morning Mike. Patriots, Jets will break that down tomorrow live noon Eastern time. Then wherever you get your podcast as well, your lunchtime alternative to Boston Sports Talk Radio right here every weekday on the Wicked Boston Show with Cam Stewart. We'll see you then.
Relax with Hemp Delicious. Organically grown hemp, massively blended with delicious organic herbs, responsibly sourced for their holistic benefits. Each sip offers calming, antioxidant-rich wellness. Brewed just for you. Sip the calm with Hemp Delicious.
At Open Goal USA, we're revolutionizing training for both soccer and lacrosse with our innovative portable rebounders. Perfect for players of all ages and skill levels. Visit OpenGOAAALUSA.com and elevate your training today.
Farmhounds offers natural treats and chews made with quality products that support family farm, regenerative agriculture, and humane farming practices. Give your dog the best with wholesome, organic ingredients that promote health and happiness. Shop now at farmhounds.com.
Get paid faster with Bill, the easiest way to send, receive, and manage your payments. No more delays, no more hassle. Whether you're a freelancer or a business, Bill makes payments seamless and secure, simple, fast, and reliable. Sign up today at Bill.com. We are Rogue Media Sports.